Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead. We're here today, we're shelling out our okra seeds with Matt from the WWOOFER program. And he has been here working with us now for, what has it been, about 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks I think, yeah.
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
What's today? Today's Wednesday, 2 weeks exactly.
Yeah, 2 weeks exactly. We've gotten a considerable amount done. Things that we've gotten behind on. Hopefully, Matt has learned a few things and along the journey. So, Matt, I'm just going to let you say maybe a few things that you've picked up since you've been here and some of your experiences. And
well, I'm learning how to seed okra. We did Star of David. And now we're doing Louisiana Velvet, which is not quite as easy as the Star of David. It's much more fibrous.
Yeah, it is a lot more fibrous.
Well, let's see, what else have I learned? I've learned
how to, did we use in on the butchering? What?
Learn how to butcher a rabbit, which was a first and something I want to learn how to do, which is clean animals and prepare them. We did that with Amanda from Freedom Acres.
Yep.
And
we worked today with peach trees.
We worked with, there's doing battle with the insects, the worms on the peach trees.
Yep. With
some ancient wisdom. Hopefully it'll work.
Let's hope so.
Let me see. I got some time on the tractor.
Yep.
Which was similar to another tractor I operated in Alabama.
What's the food like at Deep South Homestead?
The food is excellent. The food is plentiful and fresh, and I think most of what I've eaten here has come from right here on the land here. Yep. On the homestead, which is really why I'm doing this. I'm trying to learn about small scale organic farming and self-sustainability and self-reliance and all that stuff. So that's why it's really been special being here, because you guys really live. I would say in tune with nature, and you kind of follow nature's rhythm, which is something that I have certainly not been in tune with, and I would like to. And I imagine you hear that from a lot of people who want to move away from the lifestyles they're living and get a little more in tune with a natural way of life, closer to the land, and being able to provide their own food. So this program, this WWOOF program, is a great program for people like me who are looking to learn this type of thing, or at least, begin to learn about it, learn what's involved with it. And for farmers and homesteaders who are established but could use some help. The acronym WWOOF, it's Worldwide Organization of Organic Farmers. And there are many countries that have a WWOOF program. So the WWOOFERS will join, like I joined WWOOF USA. And I might join WWOOF Canada if I end up north. So it's an organization of organic farmers, and it's pairing farms with individuals who will provide labor, basically. They can come and help out on the farms, and the trade-off is labor for the experience, the farm experience or homestead experience, learning. And I just started. This is the second place I've visited. I've been very fortunate right off the bat. I was at a great farm in Alabama, and I learned a lot there. Now it's the end of the growing season, obviously, so things are a little bit slower. now than they are. I guess they will be for you guys in the spring.
Yeah.
You're gonna really start to pick up. But one of the things I'm learning is just how much stuff there is to do on a small farm, or a homestead, whatever you want to, I guess.
Yeah,
Whatever you want to call it,
yeah.
The words don't really matter. But when you're providing for yourself and you're living off the land, there's endless things to do, and there's different things that have different kind of life cycles within the year, different crops, and I guess when it comes down to harvesting, when you're going to prepare to get set up for the winter. I don't know when you do a lot of your canning and jarring, but there's so many different things going on, and they're all on kind of different time frames. At least that's what it appears to me.
Yeah.
And so you have to be aware of a lot of different things, and you have to tend to a lot of different things constantly, and every day. There's really no break. I imagine you have, certain times of the year where it slows down a little bit and other times where it's busier. But, so I'm learning just the basics. But with the WWOOF program, it's great because I called these guys up, or I emailed you, and I said, hey, I'm in Alabama, I'm heading west, I'm, traveling, and I checked out your profile on WWOOF. It looks like an interesting place. Would you be interested in hosting me for a little while? And so we had a short email exchange. You asked me, I guess, just to let you know a little bit about myself, and you said sure, we'd be happy to have you. Come on down. And so a week or two later, I stopped by and they put me right to work. It was great.
So you've had some greenhouse experiences.
Yes. Yeah.
You get to see the things that we grow in the wintertime in the greenhouse.
Yes. Yeah, we tied some things that are common everyday things to people who work on farms are very interesting to people like me. Different, things we've never been around, we're not used to. So something, as simple as going into the greenhouse and tying up the tomatoes. For me, that's a, learning experience. I'm getting to see different stages of the food cycle. And that's another big reason I am doing this, because I want to learn more about food. I'm used to just relying totally on, if I was hungry or needed something to eat, I went to the supermarket and bought it, basically. And was very, very far removed from my food. So that's really another big part of this program from a woofer's perspective, from a helper's perspective. Somebody, at least like me, who doesn't have a lot of experience, is gaining the insight into all the different types of food and everything from this stage, which is the seeds, to planting. We didn't do much planting, but I know we planted some Egyptian walking onions.
Yep.
Last week I think we did that, and
Right.
After we put up the trellises for the peas. So just seeing little things like that, which to you guys is just that's what you do. It's it's nothing special, or it's special, but it's nothing out of the ordinary for you.
Right.
So for me, it's very interesting to see all of this, and harvesting the rabbits was certainly a unique experience for me. But I can tell you that when we ate the rabbit, I just I don't know. I felt better about being closer to and being more involved with the food itself. There's something more respectful about it, or if that's the right word. But it's
You realize where your food source came from.
yes, yeah,
And that it does include where one gives up something, another one gets something.
Yes. Yeah, certainly.
The rabbit had to give up something
Yes.
in order for us to gain something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And plus you got to experience the benefits of equipment.
Oh, big time. Yeah, that's another thing. So we've done some clearing of land around here as well. Whether it's downing, some trees or clearing out brush, and there's all kinds of vines and bushes and plants. And, we had to do some clearing, and using the tractor and your neighbor's track hoe. I've been reading some Wendell Berry lately, and one of the things he talks about is the mechanization of things and how that's really doing a lot of damage. But I think, like everything else, in moderation and used wisely, machines can be, a huge benefit. And just yesterday, when we were clearing some ground,
Yeah.
we were able to accomplish in a few hours what would have taken, I don't even know how much
long it
time
took.
with
Maybe
hand tools.
Maybe a month. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. So depending on the situation, if you're by yourself or if you only have a couple of helpers, if you want to be productive, some equipment is really a good thing.
A tractor with a front end loader is invaluable on a piece of property.
Yeah.
Anything, if it's nothing but just taking the manure out of the rabbit buildings, I mean, just cleaning up leaves in the yard,
Yeah.
all that stuff, the front end loader on a tractor is just, I mean, I don't know if you can put a price tag on it.
No, it's interesting to see here on your property where you guys really concentrate on growing. It seems to me anyway that you try to supply, or you think in terms of how much of this do we need a year? How many pounds of peas do we want a year? How many pounds of potatoes, or how many, corn, or whatever it might be. And to do that, even just providing for yourselves, 2 people, that's a heck of a lot of work.
Yes.
And maintaining that land it takes a lot. So the machines really help.
Well, you're not, whereas most people figure a weekly grocery bill, we figure a yearly grocery thing. And that way, when we plant for a year's worth of groceries. And that's where the difference comes in.
Yeah.
Most people run to the grocery store and they just buy for that week.
And you think more carefully about your money, because if you think in annual terms, the numbers are bigger, so you're a little more carefully. Whereas if you're just kind of spending a little bit at a time, you'll end up spending more over time because you don't realize how much it's adding up.
That's exactly right.
It's fast. All of this is fascinating to me. I'm really enjoying it. I feel very fortunate to be able to have this experience, and with people like you who are very willing to take the time to teach as we're going along. And I know things are a little bit slower now than when you're cranking really with the planting and harvesting and all of that.
But every part of the year there's no one part of the year any more important than the other part.
Yeah.
What we're doing now is just as important as what we do during the summer.
And that's I was just thinking about that a second ago. One of the other things that you have to constantly be thinking about is, I was thinking about this the other day. Something as simple as when you asked me to take the ashes from the fire out and put them in the garden. And so it's not like you just have fields sitting out there, whether it's fields or raised beds or pots or whatever it is. Like they're there and you think, all right, well, we're gonna plant this next season. And they're just sitting there. You have to tend to that soil basically all year, not every day or even every week, but you have to maintain that soil so that when it comes time to plant, that it's prepared to take the seeds and work right. So it's constant
amending,
and You have to always be aware of so many things that are going on, and it made me realize something else, which is that kind of knowledge can only come with doing this year after year after year after year. So I feel way behind on all this, because I know even if I were to get started doing this, which I hope, I think someday, it's kind of my general pipe dream right now is to maybe end up with a plot and provide as much as I can for myself. It's a big learning curve, I think.
So at this point in your journey, you can actually say that for a majority of the American public, there is a serious disconnect between the food and the land.
Absolutely, because I think in that regard, I'm more or less average, in terms of how I've been living and eating and shopping and all of that stuff. So yeah, there's a major disconnect between where food comes from and a major lack of appreciation for what goes into your food. It doesn't grow in the supermarket.
So based on your experience up to this point, would you recommend someone taking the journey that you took?
Yes, absolutely. Even if it's not done in the same way. I mean, I'm very lucky to be doing what I'm doing. I'm traveling now for a while to see the country, and along the way I'm going to be visiting farms. But if somebody can, even in their local community, and here's something else I've learned, even if you just go to some of your local farms and see if they'd be willing to show you around. If people were to gain a better appreciation for their food, it would inevitably lead them to gain a better appreciation for their local community. But if you go and you physically see where the food or where the animals are being raised, and you get to touch and feel things and talk to the farmer and talk to the people involved, I think it'd be great for anybody to learn about that.
So I'm pretty sure your experiences are going to teach you that even though a lot of people raise their own foods and their own animals from climate to climate, it's going to be different.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, there's certainly, and that's one thing. It's another thing I need to figure out, the zones, the different zones, and how the different types of things are grown in the different zones. Just this okra right here is something that I've never been around. I'm from Pennsylvania, and I know we can get it up there, but I'm sure it's probably being shipped up there from down here.
Yeah.
So I've never done anything like this before. Wanda made peas with what kind of, were they black-eyed peas? No, they were
pink-eyed purple hull.
Yeah, they were pink-eyed purple hull.
Pink-eyed purple. Yeah, you guys grow a lot of different types of.
They're field peas, what they call field peas.
So we had those peas with the okra. Now that was what, the Star of David okra?
No, that was just Louisiana Velvet.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay. It was delicious. I loved it. It was good.
Now the soup you ate the other day had the Star of David in it.
Okay.
Yeah, the Star of David is better for soups and frying.
Okay.
Louisiana Velvet is better for boiling.
Boiling, that's right, you said that earlier.
Yeah.
And then you guys also had, we did figs yesterday.
Yeah.
We ate the figs yesterday. That you've had jarred, I guess.
Yeah, we can, yes.
You can. And I've only ever had dried figs. So even though I haven't, I've done a lot, but I also realize there's a lot more, like the canning and jarring. I haven't done any of that yet. But still just kind of being aware of it and seeing what I've seen so far with the early stages of the vegetables gives me a little bit of a better idea of what that's all about.
Well, you've
And when
on
I
your
go-
journey, you've fed animals, right?
Oh, sure, yeah.
So you kind of got a feel for what it's like to have animals and to feed them.
Yep.
The responsibility of that,
Yes. Yeah,
and the reward, I guess.
on what Spencer Farm, they had, that was more animal, that was a little heavier on the animal side. They had pigs, they had about a dozen sows, and then when I was there, they had probably 30 feeders. So twice a day we'd feed them. Now that's a job we did with a tractor and a front end loader,
Yeah.
you know, because they graze all of they rotate their pastures, so the pigs are grazed, but they do supplement their feed or their meat. And here's cotton. Oh, by the way, the first time I've ever seen cotton in a cotton field was in Alabama, just a few weeks before I came to you guys. So might sound crazy to some people, but it was pretty cool seeing a field of cotton for the first time. The WWOOF program is for anyone who's considering doing that. I think it's a great thing. Now again, this is only the second place I've been, and I've really lucked out. I've been to 2 great places, and for somebody like me, and I think it would be true for a lot of people, it's just a great experience, a great way to learn about food and about self-sustainability and self-reliance, really. And for host farms, you know, you're going to get some help, because after seeing how labor-intensive all of this is, I can imagine there's a lot of places out there that could use some extra help. And I think there has to be a fair exchange. So if you're somebody who's looking to go around and visit farms and work on them, if you don't have experience, then you have to have a good work ethic. And you have to be willing to work hard and, you know, just be respectful of the home where you're staying, the people who are there, and the farm, I think, has to be willing to you know, make sure that the workers are learning something along the way. They're not just, you know, there to be worked without an opportunity of learning, or I don't know if that makes any sense. But you guys do a great job of explaining things and, you know, taking the time to make sure that I understand what it is that we're doing or why I'm doing it.
Yes.
And that's important. So and obviously you also, both farms too, have fed me very well. And that's great, having fresh food, healthy food. I know where it's coming from. I know that it's clean and it's not contaminated with anything. So yeah, I would give a big thumbs up to the WWOOF program. I think they do a great job of pairing farms with helpers and giving people a chance to experience a different way of life or a different area. And you need to meet the people in an area to get to know the area.
Yeah.
You can't just drive around looking around.
Well, anyway, it's been a great experience for us here at Deep South Homestead, having Matt here. You know, we look forward to you know, different woofers coming in and sharing the experience of working here at Deep South Homestead, and so, you know, for us, it's been a blessing. Matt has been a great help in helping us get caught up on some of our wintertime projects. And like I said, if any of y'all are interested, he has great work ethics, very polite, very considerate of, you know, of the property and what's around him, and very responsible. So with that being said, anybody who's interested in a woofer, you know, check out the WWOOF program, and I think that you'll really be blessed by it. It's not a program to be abused, but one to be used for teaching and learning. So I think we're gonna cut it off there and say we thank Matt for being a part of this. We want to thank y'all for your time sitting here as we've shared Matt's journey with you here at Deep South Homestead and his previous journey in the WWOOF program. And best wishes to Matt and his journey as he moves forward. And guys, thank you for watching Deep South Homestead.
Adios.